do the LA Kings have any notable RFAs? Because famously, Ken Holland is not good at protecting those.
Oh, good question.
So, Alex Laferriere, you are not a Los Angeles King anymore.
Okay. We have RFA offer sheet draft pick compensation charts. Isn't that so nice? We've got them there. Here we go. $1.54 million or less, the compensation is nothing. And I'll note, what we're talking about here is if you sign a restricted free agent to an offer sheet, the team has a week to match. And if they don't match, you have to give that team stuff and you get the player. Between 1.5 and 2.3, you give up a third round pick. Between 2.3 and 4.6, you give up a second. Between 4.6 and 7.02, first and third round picks. Between 7 and 9.3, first, second, and third round picks. Between 9.3 and 11.7, 2 firsts, 1 second, and 1 third. Over $11.7 million AAV for first round picks. And I will note, of course, as people don't do this and it makes it very confusing, offer sheet AAV is total money divided by years up to 5. So not the way that it is normally compensated where you would just do money divided by years. So for example, if you give someone $10 million a year for 8 years, you would not divide 80 by 8, you would divide it by 5, which would be 16. And that would mean you'd be giving up 4 first-round picks. It is hard to offer sheet players to get them to sign and to get the other team to match. Last year, of course, it happened twice by the same team to the same team when the St. Louis Blues stole Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway from the Oilers. And it's very exciting because now maybe this is starting to happen and there are exciting RFAs out there. There's Evan Bouchard. There's Gabriel Velarde. There's Matthew Knies. We've talked about him ad nauseum. There's also J.J. Peterka, speaking of the Buffalo Sabres. Sean's got a nice list right there. Pete, when you see these numbers come out and you know what the names are, you can run down there. I'll just do it. Bouchard, Knies, Peterka, Velarde, Rossi, Geeky, McTavish, Voronkov, Luke Hughes, Will Cooley, Bo Byram, Noah Dobson, among them. What's going through your mind? As I know you're a Boston Bruins fan who can offer sheet some guys. You got your next 4 first-round picks. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if you're a Bruins fan, like the name, you would obviously love to steal Matthew Knies, but I don't know how likely that is. I feel like it's more likely that, like, maybe you swipe a guy like Mason McTavish or Will Cooley. Like, I feel like those guys could make a lot of sense for the Bruins to try to pursue.
Here's my read on all of this. Matthew Knies isn't getting offer sheeted. Evan Bouchard is not getting offer sheeted. The players that are at the top of that list, like the best players, the already established stars, are not getting offer sheeted because if you
cost too much.
Because in order to offer sheet somebody, you have to overpay them. Like Philip Broberg got way more AAV than he was projected, and it was a stealth move by the Blues because they knew what the Oilers could afford, and they said, okay, we're going to pay him like twice what he's worth just so we can get him, and we've got the cap space. Cool. AFP Analytics does contract projections. They're the best. I love them, and I reference them all the time. The projected contract for Matthew Knies is, if you go long-term, 7 times $7.22 million a year, or 2 times $4.17 million a year. If you're offer sheeting Matthew Knies, you're not giving him his projected contract.
Right. You're going to give him like $9 or $10 million.
Blowing his projected contract, that's right, out of the water. So if you give Knies, say, up to $9.63 million a year for up to 5 years, that's a first, a second, and a third, that's healthy.
I would honestly do it.
Like, but remember, you're also overpaying him.
Right. So, but I mean, like, as a petty Bruins fan, that would still absolutely tickle my fancy because, number one, you're getting a really good young player. You're probably overpaying him a little bit, but that's fine. And you're stealing him away from a rival.
Problem there is, do we know Maple Leafs don't match?
Yeah, right.
We don't know. So if you give Matthew Knies,
especially if they're letting Marner walk.
So if you give Matthew Knies between $9.36 and $11.7 million a year for up to 5 years, you're giving up 2 firsts, a second, and a third. That now you're thinking, I am paying out the ass, both financially and in terms of draft pick compensation. The offer sheet that I came up with for Matthew Knies is 3 times 9.5 million, or like 3 times 10 million. That is healthy for a player who, playing with amazing players, had 58 points this season, and he's going off in the postseason. He's got 7 points in 10 games. Not going off, but I think he's been one of their best players and a trusted scorer. I believe he has 5 goals. So he should be the apple of anybody's eye, but I think he's too good to offer sheet, because just giving him what he's worth is going to be an assload of compensation.
Yeah, I get it, but I also I made this point earlier in the season, and it's like if the Leafs are in a position where they can keep both Marner and Knies heading into July 1st, if you're interested in either Marner or Knies, if you put the offer sheet on the table, you're giving yourself a chance to get one of them.
Right.
Because it's unlikely that they're going to be able to afford both of them. So if that's your power play as a potential offer sheet team, that might be worth making.
I think that the 3 most interesting players, I take Evan Bouchard out of it. There's no way Evan Bouchard is getting offer sheeted, and that's not me coping as an Oilers fan. It's just saying that his projected deal is 8 times 10.88 million.
I would be.
That's 4 first-round picks.
I would be so afraid to give him that contract without any attached compensation.
Yes.
What was it again?
8 times 10.88 million. That's 4 first-round picks because you divide the total money by 5. 4 first-round picks and about $11 million. And that's just if you're just giving the projected contract, not doing the offer sheet thing of way overpaying him. And the way to kind of steal the guy is to go lower on years, higher on AAV. So are you going to give Evan Bouchard a 2-year, $15 million contract and then give up 4 first-round picks? It's not happening. I think that the possibility that you bring up with Matthew Knies is okay, where overpay him by a little just to get the Leafs to match that, and then you can try to swipe Nylander or Marner or even Tavares if that's your want. How about Gabriel Velarde? 25 years old, 61 points this season, got hurt late in March, missed 11 games, not doing much in the postseason, but if you're a team that needs a center, that's the guy that I'm going after. But his projected contract is probably prohibitive. So I don't know which of these guys ends up actually getting offer sheeted. Velarde's projected deal, 4 times $6.82 million. So if you give him a raise on that and go lower on the years, you're looking at least first, second, and third round picks. It's hard to offer sheet, guys. There was a perfect storm last year for St. Louis, I think, and maybe we end up getting our hopes up on if any of these guys can be stolen. But if any of them are, it is the top tier guys. There were choice RFAs last year, like Seth Jarvis or Lucas Raymond. And it just wasn't happening with those guys. It is those kind of middle tier guys like Holloway who you end up being able to steal, if at all. Yeah, Sean?
We have breaking news. New head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, Adam Foote.
What?
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Whoa.
That came out of nowhere.
Per Darren Drager.
Whoa.
That came out of nowhere to me, but all right.
He said, as others have speculated, so I guess there was probably talk about it around Vancouver, but yeah.
All right.
Damn.
Shout out to them.
All right, they have their coach.
I think that you mentioned it, last year's RFA thing was kind of a perfect storm where it was negligence by one team and just opportunity for another team. And, there was a few of them. There was 3 total teams that made the offer sheet pitch for those 2 guys. But again, there has to be negligence on one side as well, or at least just a really, really difficult situation financially in order for the offer sheets to work. And I'm interested to see what it looks like this summer, because now after what happened last summer, a lot of people are like, "Is this change the offer sheet game forever?" And we could very well be 2 months down the road and be like, Oh, of course, it didn't change.
I have buried one of the biggest points I wanted to make. Let me get you to the 4.6 times between 4.6 and $7.02 million tier. There's a lot of teams, and that's the first one that involves a first round pick. Teams that can do that are the Ducks, the Bruins, the Sabres, the Blue Jackets, the Flames, the Blackhawks, the Red Wings, the Kings, the Wild, the Canadiens, the Preds, the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Senators, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Penguins, the Kraken, the Blues, the Mammoth, very good, Dave, and the Winnipeg Jets.
Puckpedia needs to update their logos.
I know. I saw it. I almost said Hockey Club.
Yeah. Wouldn't have blamed you.
The 2026 draft features the best prospect since Connor McDavid. So, are you offer sheeting somebody and giving up your 2026 first round pick if you are a lot of these teams?
That's a good point.
Even if you're the Ducks, man, you never know. If you're the Bruins, you're not doing it. If you're
what are the chances that Joel Quenneville is senile and he doesn't know how to coach anymore, and you are the last place team in the league?
Okay, right. So, perfect. Take the Ducks off there, and they're a team that could be a playoff team. Absolutely take the Blackhawks off there. Do you take the Kings off there just in case there's
a good point that I hadn't
many
considered.
teams you peel off there?
Yeah. Somebody in the chat also raised a good point that do the LA Kings have any notable RFAs? Because famously, Ken Holland is not good at protecting those.
Oh, good question.
So, Alex Laferriere, you are not a Los Angeles King anymore.
Okay. That doesn't, with all due respect, that doesn't really change my life too significantly, nor does it change, I think, an LA Kings fan's life. But I don't know. Man, so maybe it says to you, Pete, do you want Morgan Geekie back or you want someone to offer sheet him? You're like, oh no, I hope we don't forget to sign him to a $9.36 million AAV contract, and then that's 2 first round picks.
God, if Morgan Geekie's being signed for $9 million a year.
Oh, wait, maybe that's what ends up happening. Teams intentionally. Oh, the Kings hired Ken Holland so he can botch their RFA and lose him to an offer sheet so they can get another 2026 first round pick. That's what it is. Oh, Oilers, don't sign Evan Bouchard. Get Gavin McKenna. You'll win that lottery. We all fucking know.
I know. There's no precedent for the Oilers winning the draft lottery. Sean, what do we got there?
So have you guys touched on Utah's first round draft pick is not only the 4th overall pick, but also an original 6th pick in the draft.
Ah, good call. Yes.
Very good. Very good. I think that was a pretty healthy RFA compensation talk. You can get a little crazy. You can get tough to keep track of, but I think the bullet points are the star players probably aren't getting offer sheeted. Teams that would offer sheet will probably think twice about doing it if it involves their first round pick. And the Kings hired Ken Holland hoping that Alex Laferriere can somehow turn into Gavin McKenna.
We all silly like the mayor.